Hey VC, Nolan here. I was all set to do an indie vinyl entry this morning, the letter T, but that's going to have to come later because last night I watched Travis, Vinyl on Video. He put up a spotlight on his funk section, and I've been wanting to do one of those for a while, so I figured I'd vibe a little bit with him, talk about the funk, and I think maybe you and me, Travis, are kind of in a similar situation. My funk is definitely, much like my jazz, kind of a little patchwork and definitely not as focused as my other collections. So it definitely needs some work. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. We got James Brown, The Payback. You showed this one. My copy's actually OG on Polydor Records, 1973. Sweet gatefold and just killer funk. I've got a few other James Brown records, but my thing here is I didn't want to include anything that could be soul or anything that could be jazz, like anything that are on those sides of the spectrum. So a lot of those other James Brown records I have, they've got a lot of R&B kind of cuts on them, but I feel like The Payback is pretty much straight funky when it comes to James Brown. That's a good one to show. Do you want to get funky with me, Peter Brown? I mean, it has the word funk in the title. I listened to this and it's enjoyable. It's kind of in the middle of I'm not sure whether I love it or hate it. This is on Drive Records, 1977. Don't know much about that label. Funky inner sleeve even. It's a fantasy love affair. Next I have a bunch of this band's records on my wish list, but Cameo, Cardiac Arrest. This is their early days. They've got Secret Omen, Cameosis, which I have a copy of that needs to be cleaned, that are just funk essentials to me. This is on Chocolate City, 1976. Looks like it was originally maybe on Casablanca. It says 75 Casablanca, 76 Chocolate City, 77 Chocolate City. I have no idea what that is. It opens from the top. It's got the Casablanca inner sleeve. I don't know the relations between the labels here, but I love this Chocolate City label. And just hard, sweaty funk, which is the kind that I'm a huge fan of. That's two scandalous covers in a row. That's a theme with a lot of these funk releases. Got a little vibing with Travis. George Clinton, Computer Games. I love this artwork. And I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg, over the course of his career, sampled Snoop Lion, I'm sorry, has sampled this entire record on Capitol. Next, Travis, he also showed this band, Commodores. This is their album, Caught in the Act. To me, their early records are fire. Like I said in the comments, the song The Bump off of this record on Motown, 1975, is incredible to me. Wow. But moving on is another record. I can't remember some of the other names. This is the only one I have. I've been looking out for the others though. Caught in the Act, the Commodores. A lot of their stuff is really easy to find, but the stuff that I'm looking for, I'm having the hardest time picking up. This band has funk in their name. Confunction. Candy is the name of this album. Gatefold. These guys are still doing it. I looked them up. They're still funking around. This is a great one. This is on Mercury Records. No fancy label to show there. I'm going to show you the cover again. Travis, you showed Earth, Wind & Fire. This is the only Earth, Wind & Fire I have. Last Days in Time. This is 1972, CBS Records. Totally psychedelic cover here. There are two records before this I'm also looking for. Excellent funk. Funkadelic, of course. This is on Westbound. This is an OG. have this and One Nation Under a Groove. You could always use more Funkadelic in your collection. And the main reason my soul section isn't as thorough as it is because I'm just never actively looking. As much as I love Funkadelic, I'm never actively looking for their records. So, one day. The Gap Band. This is actually kind of hard to find. This is their first album. They have 2 self-titled albums, which is kind of confusing. I like them both. I like their first 6 records. This is a promo copy. The Gap Band, sometimes called the AC/DC of funk because of how religiously consistent they are. This is on Tattoo Records, 1977. This is a great record. This is kind of before their sound became really streamlined, but I still like that streamlined sound. This is a nice glimpse of them in their early days, though. Release Yourself by Larry Graham. Graham Central Station. This is 1974. Warner Brothers. Larry Graham, of course, the bassist for Sly and the Family Stone. Feel the Need is the song on here that I love. Come on and feel it. Feel it, feel it, come on and feel it. Awesome. This record I found for $1. Bought on a total whim. Happy I did. This, I guess, kind of goes into disco a little bit, but I think they're funky. Heat Wave, Too Hot to Handle. Famous for Boogie Nights. This is on Epic Records, 1976. 1977. More vibing with Travis. JB's Doing It to Death. This is an OG, 1973, Polydor Records. Sick album. This record, Travis, you showed Ohio Players. If you like the Ohio Players, Kitty and the Haywoods, Love Shock. It's like a secret Ohio Players record. Their records, I feel, were dropping in quality when this record was released around 1977. But they made a quality record with Kitty and the Haywoods. It's just, I mean, it's the whole band. They produce, put it together, different front runners. And this is on Phonogram, Polygram, Mercury. You know, they're all the same, right? Mid-70s. I've got a soft spot for the 70s funk. Even up into the early 80s, really. LTD, Something to Love. Whew, this is good. This has some slow jams on it, but it's 1977 A&M. Great funk. I see a lot of their records around. I don't really actually see this one much, but this one, great pickup. Sort of P-Funk-esque, but a lot more pop. Look at these guys. I love it. Group we're listening to in the background, we're listening to their later record, Imtume. This is Juicy Fruit with the hippest little girl in the world on the back here. I bet she's cool. The song Juicy Fruit, of course, Notorious B.I.G. sampled, is the song Juicy. But this is great. I love this stuff. Real minimal, heavy hitting. Okay, little needle drop for you. Of course, Travis showed Ohio Players. I'm showing one for solidarity. Love the Ohio Players. Honey is the album that I'm missing, and I'm also looking for their early stuff on Westbound, but it's funny because I've turned a lot of my friends onto the Ohio Players, and always whenever we're out record shopping, they find a copy of Honey, and I'm like, oh, Honey, I want that. But they've never experienced the magic that is Ohio Players. So they ask, should I get this? And I say yes, you should get it. You should enjoy it. So it's happened like 3 times. So Honey keeps eluding me, but I'll find it soon. That'll be the grail when I find it. Next up is Pointer Sisters, who kind of live in the funk world, kind of don't. This is their first record, Yes We Can. The first track is sick. The drums are so nasty and so funky, and I wish the rest of the album was like that, but they do like this cabaret show kind of thing, and I'm gonna check out some of their other early material. You know, this stuff lives in the dollar bins, so I'm gonna check out the other early material and then maybe just make a mixtape of all my favorite funky Pointer Sisters tracks. Side Effect, Fantasy Records, What You Need, 1976. 3-part or 4-part harmony funk. You guys, this is great. Side Effect. They have some other stuff that's actually, a lot of their stuff's hard to come by, but I think this is their best. Only a couple more records left to show. Sky. I love Sky. I have most of Sky's records, and South Soul. This is 1980. Listen to the track High, H-I-G-H, by them. You won't be disappointed. Sky is just a great party funk band. It's starting to get warm around here. Well, it did for a little bit, now it's cold again. But it's starting to get warm soon, and this is the kind of stuff that I love to put on when it gets warm, when I'm grilling out, when I've got friends over. Sky makes front to back perfect party records, and I love them for it. They are the sort of project of Randy Muller of Brass Construction, who don't have that many great albums to their name. Their first is pretty good, but Randy Muller really sort of honed his craft on these Sky records. It's fantastic. Last, love this band. One of the bands I showed in my Vinyl Community introduction, and I just actually bought a couple of their records that I'll show soon, but Slave. Cotillion Records, 1977. It's a promo copy. Tasty. Tasty. The label. It's like a bruise from how hard the funk will hit you. Why do I love Slave? Much like Sky, they are front to back just a great party funk band. Other things I like about Slave. I like the fact that Steve Arrington, their primary vocalist, sounds like me fronting a funk band. He's got the nerdiest voice in funk, but he pulls it off. It sounds so good. Slave is great. Slave is funky. Dig it. Alright, Travis, it's good vibing with you, and keep the funk alive.